Have you ever felt like your life was spinning out of control? Like nothing made sense, and no matter what you did, you couldn't find your footing. If so, you're not alone. In fact, the Bible opens with that very feeling: chaos, darkness, and emptiness. But here's the twist. The Genesis creation story isn't just about how the universe began. It's about how we begin. It's a guide for turning chaos into order, fear into clarity, and potential into purpose. Stick with me for the next few minutes, and I promise you'll see this ancient story in a whole new light. And who knows, it might even give you a fresh perspective on your own life. Let's start with the very first line. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. But before anything was created, the earth was formless and void. Picture that for a moment. A deep, dark nothingness. It's unsettling, isn't it? But here's what's amazing. God doesn't panic. He doesn't rush. Instead, he begins with the simplest, most profound step. Let there be light. Now, light here isn't just about physical brightness. It's about awareness, clarity, the ability to see what's in front of you. Ever had a moment where you suddenly understood something that had been confusing for years? That's light breaking into your darkness. That's the first step of creation. Not just for the universe, but for any new beginning in your life. Here's the first takeaway. You can't create change until you see clearly. Whether you're starting over in a relationship, a career, or your personal growth, the first step is always awareness. You've got to turn the lights on. But here's the thing. Light doesn't solve everything. It just reveals what needs to be done. That's why creation doesn't stop there. God doesn't say, all right, we got light. My work here is done. No, he keeps going. And this is where things get really interesting. Over 6 days, God creates step by step light, sky, land, plants, animals, and finally, humans. Each day builds on the one before it, carefully and intentionally. What does this tell us? It tells us that growth is a process. It doesn't happen all at once. And isn't that true for us too? Whether you're trying to heal from a painful past, start a new project, or build a healthier lifestyle, it takes time. We live in a world that demands instant results, but Genesis reminds us that meaningful creation, whether it's a universe or a personal transformation, happens one step at a time. Think about the 6 days as a blueprint for your own journey. First, you need clarity, your light moment. Then you start building structure, separating what's important from what's not, like God separating land from water. Then you plant seeds, small actions that grow over time. And eventually, you'll see the fruit of your labor. But don't miss this. Even God rested. On the 7th day, he stepped back to appreciate what he had made. When was the last time you did that? Rest isn't laziness, it's part of the process. Without it, you burn out. So, lesson 2, embrace the process and give yourself permission to rest. Now, let's talk about the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve. The first humans are placed in this paradise. They have everything they need: food, beauty, companionship, and a direct connection to God. Sounds perfect, right? But here's where things get interesting. In the middle of the garden is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. God tells them not to eat its fruit, and let's be honest, this part of the story raises a lot of questions. Why put the tree there in the first place? Why create a rule at all? Well, here's the hidden meaning. The tree isn't just a test, it's a symbol of free will. God didn't create Adam and Eve to be robots. They were given the power to choose because love, trust, and growth can only exist in freedom. I mean, think about it. What's more meaningful? Being forced to do the right thing or choosing it for yourself? But freedom comes with responsibility. When Adam and Eve eat the fruit, they gain knowledge, but they also feel shame for the first time. They realize they're naked, vulnerable, exposed. So, what do? They hide. And isn't that exactly what we do? When we make mistakes or feel ashamed, our first instinct is to hide from others, from ourselves, even from God. But here's the beautiful part of this story. God doesn't leave them in their shame. He seeks them out, clothes them, and protects them, even as they face the consequences of their choices. Being sent out of Eden feels like a punishment, but it's also the beginning of something new. Life outside the garden is harder, yes. There's pain, struggle, and uncertainty. But it's also where Adam and Eve learn to grow, to create, and to love in ways they couldn't in paradise. Here's lesson 3. Life isn't about avoiding failure, it's about learning from it. The fall isn't the end of the story, it's the beginning of growth. And just like Adam and Eve, we're all invited to step out of our comfort zones, face our challenges, and create something meaningful, even when it's hard. So what does all of this mean for us today? Well, first, it means that when life feels chaotic, remember, creation begins with clarity. Start with light, awareness, and build from there. Second, trust the process. Growth takes time, and it's okay to rest along the way. Third, recognize that your choices matter. They shape your life for better or worse. But even when you mess up, there's grace. There's always a way forward. Here's something else to think about. The creation story isn't just about God creating the world, it's about you and your role as a co-creator. Every day, you're shaping your life, your relationships, your legacy. So ask yourself, what chaos in your life needs order? What seeds can you plant today that'll grow into something beautiful tomorrow? And what step can you take, no matter how small, to move closer to the life you want to create? The Genesis creation story isn't just an ancient tale. It's a mirror. It shows us who we are, what we're capable of, and how we can turn our mess into something meaningful. It's a reminder that even in our darkest moments, there's light waiting to break through. So, what will you create today? How will you bring order to your chaos and light to your darkness? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. If you found this meaningful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more insights from the Bible Unveiled. We've got so many more stories to explore together, and I can't wait to share them with you. Until next time, keep creating, keep growing, and remember, your story is just the beginning.